Going. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Carson's Conversations. This is episode 4. I got one of my longtime buddies that I met playing football in Hamilton. And this is my buddy Jesse. Today we're going to talk about kind of social justice, the influence of technology and as a whole, and kind of how the effects of like social hierarchy in high school and that type of stuff affect a child's life. So, where do you want to get started, boss?
Oh man, where should we start? This is such a broad topic.
Yeah.
Let's start with.
Let's go with whatever you really want done, or you really want the word to get out there. What's that?
Let's start with the importance of technology and like social media in our lives.
Yeah, for sure.
So something I noticed through 3 years of being in high school is we literally depend on our phones, computers, laptops, tablets, whatever. It's like glued to our hands.
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating. Especially like if you're ever trying to have a conversation with someone and they're just on their phone the entire time, or they're checking their status, they're doing this, they're doing that. It's just like, I'm here to talk. I'm here to meet who you are. I don't really need to, unless they're like showing something else off. It's kind of crazy. So what's your experiences with really people going over the edge with using technology as a whole, or that type of stuff?
It's been to the point where it's starting to like affect my relationship with my parents, because I've sat down to have dinner with my mom, whatever, and she's always super adamant about, put your phone down when you're like sitting down to have dinner with people. But then she's out here on Facebook looking at like 2006 memes, whatever.
Jeez, that's yeah, my mom's like that too. She really does like Facebook, but she's really adamant on no phones at the table. Like if I even check my phone, or there's she's like, oh no, we're done.
It's an issue.
Yeah. Because she knows that it's not the right thing, that you like. We gotta talk. About your day. It's better for you, and it creates a healthier environment, right? So, you told me that you wanted to start a blog, right?
Yeah, I did actually. I just published it yesterday. It's called The Real World. I made it with Wix, just because I heard a lot of good things about it. But so recently, as far as my career choice goes, I've really taken an interest in journalism. So, been looking at programs at U of T, McMaster, stuff like that. But I've always had a passion for writing and kind of expressing my thoughts and views on different topics I find that are important.
Definitely, that is really important. Yeah.
Yeah, because like you don't really hear that very very often anymore with people going to university. Everybody wants to be making like the big bank, like being like a lawyer or a doctor or whatever that may be. But I find that with jobs like that, you're always working these like really crappy hours, and
it's definitely not something, if you're passionate about it.
If you're passionate about it and that's what you want to do, like kudos to you. Like
because you're definitely you're gonna enjoy every hour of it. But if you're in something and it's just like, I'm doing this just because it's paying me money, that's not what you're about. And I can tell just because I've known you for a couple of years that you're not gonna put up with anything that's not what you want. So I think you'll do pretty good in journalism. And it's like, especially starting a blog at this age, that's great, because as long as it doesn't really matter how many views you get, as long as you have a library of your learning kind of changing, and like your thoughts and your expressions and all that type of stuff evolving over the time. Because if you continue doing it, it's gonna be great, especially for a hire. Like if you're ever gonna go to a journalistic a newspaper or whatever the heck it's called, or whatever you want, it's going to be great, because you'll be able to show this huge portfolio of all the stuff you've had, right?
There you go.
So what are the main topics though that you really want to go into?
It's going to be pretty broad, honestly. Like I've been talking about with you over Instagram DMs and whatnot, I've had a lot of different topics and issues, things like that, come to mind as I'm kind of living my life in this going into grade 12 year. And I've had a lot of like different views that I've talked to people about, and they're like, why aren't you like a writer? Why don't you why don't you start a blog or something? I was like, you know what, why don't I? I think like I've kind of contained my thoughts for so long, and I've hidden my views and stuff from everybody, but I'm at a point now where I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, it's not going to get me anywhere.
Just sitting around and you're not
exactly. Like I want to make a change. I want to do something with my opinions. And
yeah, that's the same kind of inspiration that I kind of had. I was just like, I'm not doing anything right now. Let's see if I can make a little bit of change just by talking to someone.
Yeah.
And 4 podcasts in, this is the 4th one. It's been amazing, and I've got there's been so many great comments and so many people texting me and saying, wow, that you've really changed something. So if you like, all you got to do is just keep putting stuff out.
Yeah, that's
like,
the plan.
That's it's gonna be the hardest part, but it's gonna be the most enjoyable because you like writing.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's something like I've noticed about this topic is when people have been so wrapped up in social media and technology and then their digital lives that they've hidden themselves from the world almost. Like people kind of like shut out the realer side of themselves and like what they're passionate about to be something that they're not on their social media accounts.
Yeah,
right?
that's earlier when the third topic that I said at the beginning was kind of like the social hierarchy of high school, which is really really interesting, and especially how technology plays into that, because you'll see people that are the super popular kids.
Yeah.
And they're the most self-conscious people there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because they want to be perfect, they want to show off to as many people as possible, and they're just like, I gotta be this, I gotta be that. Like, no, don't. Just be yourself, and inevitably you're gonna become the better version of you, and more people will actually like you, right?
See, but with people like that, it's verification for themselves. People get so self-conscious. I gotta start from like the beginning of my thought.
Go for it. Yeah, for
so,
sure.
People are influenced by what they see on the internet, whether it's Instagram, Snapchat, whatever. You're always gonna see models or like the fitness guys, whatever, the dudes that are super buff, have that six-pack and like washboard abs, and like the girls with like super thick and all that stuff. Right? I'm not gonna lie, I'm the first person that should admit, like I've been following some of those pages for a while, and I'm at a point where it's just like this isn't healthy, you know?
It's
like
not good for you.
Some of this stuff like isn't achievable within a lifetime of work. Not to say like if you want to look a certain way, by all means, go for it. But some of this stuff is so unhealthy. Like people throw away everything just to try and look like that, right?
Even just like people doing crazy things to themselves just so they get views is kind of ridiculous at this point, where it's just like they're so infatuated with people seeing what they're doing and people following them and living by likes, engaging themselves how good of a person they are on their likes, that it's just become it's toxic, really.
See, that's what it is though. It's verification with these people. The way for them to feel good about themselves is another like, it's another comment, another follow, another 1,000 followers, right? That's the way that they kind of get gratification and verification to make themselves feel good about what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right? It's that popularity, that status. You want people to think that you're living this life, and you want people to see like, oh, I got all this stuff. I got a car. I got money. I got this. I'm popping whatever. But it's out of it's out of point now. I can see
you're so passionate about this, man. Like
it's frustrating because it's happened to a lot of people I care about, right? And people are so infatuated with this social media and this digital age stuff. Like, they lose track of what's really important to them. People are so focused about posting pictures and getting likes and getting follows and getting all these different clothes and shoes and all that stuff. And they throw away everything else that's really important to them, like whether it's school, getting a job, having a social life, actually interacting with people that aren't like
on their phones,
right? And I think we've just lost that touch in this age and generation.
It's very true, and it's a huge topic too. And there's so much content for you to talk about. Yeah. And that's another issue that I not really an issue, but that's something I want to bring up for me on this podcast. I talk about a lot of like marketing and stuff like that. What's the furthest level that you think, or what's the best way to do something marketing without making it seem like, oh, this is how to live your life or something like that? Like, do you understand what I mean? Like where do you think the furthest point in marketing is?
I think things like vlogs or creating a blog, whatever, things like that are great. When you're just kind of like taking people through like a day in the life, whatever. Like, hey, this is what I do. I work out. I do this. I study. I have work. I have a job. I think that's great. That's healthy. You're kind of like encouraging people to live that lifestyle. For sure. I shouldn't say encouraging people to live that lifestyle, but you're just kind of giving people insight as to what you do, like what's normal in your daily life. But then there's people who take that a step above, right? And they'll include things like going shopping. Like, you'll see all over YouTube, you'll see like those clickbait pictures, like $2,000 like pair of sneakers, like,
or like, oh, I just bought my friend a car.
Like
it's so
things like
materialistic.
that. It's so materialistic, and you don't really get anything out of it except like verification.
Exactly.
When you post things like that.
It's such a difficult topic to kind of navigate too, because there's so many people that will get hurt by you bringing up this topic, and they'll be like, oh my god, you're talking about this, or you're doing that, and that's just people that are looking for more verification, like you're saying, because they just want to be able to be, oh, I'm on this train, I don't like that, right?
Yeah.
And there's so many people like that where, oh, you're doing this, that's stupid, don't do that. Or,
yeah.
You should do this. This is a better way to do it. It'll work better. You'll get more likes. It's kind of crazy, and it's like, come on, guys, we can do better than that. As a whole, all of humans, like, come on, right?
It's frustrating to see, like, you look at a video, like, whether it's, I don't know, like guys in FaZe or Mr. Beast, whoever on YouTube, these big YouTube stars and celebrities, they have such a huge following, but they use it for such stupid things, and it makes me so frustrating. Like, you see the view count on their videos is like 9 million, 10 million, 11 million, whatever, and the video be something stupid like, I spent $50,000 like shopping for clothes, or I gave my friends $100,000 to spend in an hour.
Yeah, it's
just,
come on.
It's so materialistic, like, centered, and it's so unrealistic in today's society. Like, people just aspire to have that level of a following, and they're so focused on these materialistic things and materialistic lifestyles, and they just lose focus of what's actually important and relevant, and what should be important and relevant to their lives.
It's true. Like, it's difficult to think, because for me, there's definitely a thing where, like, I want the views, I want the likes, I want all that stuff, but that's because I think I want to, like, I'm aspiring to build a brand around myself, so for the future that I'll be able to use that kind of experience and knowledge about the podcast or something like that to better myself in the future. And that's a kind of, like, it's a two-sided thing, because some people are using Instagram and social media for the advantage, and so they can get further on, and then some people are using it just straight for...
There's a difference between using your social media following for self-gain versus promotion.
Yeah.
When we talk about self-gain, you're talking about sponsored posts, sponsored videos. Like, I don't know if you know what the browser thingy Honey is. I'm in no way affiliated with that. But some YouTubers are sponsored by that, and they'll promote that website not to help people out, but as a way of accumulating sponsored posts, sponsored money, and they use that money to promote their own videos, right?
Yeah.
The YouTuber Mr. Beast, who's completely blown up, the guy that gives out thousands and thousands of dollars to friends, family, whatever, he gets, I think, I can't remember how much, but he gets hundreds of thousands of dollars of ad revenue, sponsored posts, and he'll use those paychecks and that money to create new videos of him giving out more money, right? And it's just like a cycle that can't be broken, right?
It's the way to, you can't really fix that type of stuff, right? And also think about all the viewers. If you look at Mr. Beast's viewers, they're no older than 13, 14.
Oh, no.
They're all young kids, so they don't really get the full grasp of understanding what this is and what money is as a whole, or like, oh, this car actually is $40,000. They don't understand that their parents might not even make $40,000 in USD, right? So it's a very difficult thing to kind of traverse and figure out how can we fix this, and how we're going to use this for the future, and how to expand and make everything better. But it's not only about getting the sponsorship money, because there's definitely a whole bunch of people that use that type of money for either donations, or they use their ads on certain videos to give back. And it's a scale, really. Like, there's going to be some channels, the majority of channels are going to be definitely about, oh, let's try and make as much money as possible, and there's going to be the other ones that are like, all right, let's donate, let's see if we can do for example, like Twitch, there's a lot of Twitch streamers that have like 24-hour live streams and see how much money they can donate. Charity streams. Yeah. And they make like hundreds to thousands of dollars just because so many people are watching it. Exactly. And it's weird because there's no way to gauge who's doing better, right? And it's all because everybody's so focused on being better than someone and posting it, right? That's going back to the beginning of the topics.
It's not even like who's better or who's doing the better numbers. I find with even videos that involve money, whether it's a charity stream, let's say it's a charity stream versus a shopping spree, right? The person that's doing the better amount of money will get more exposure.
Yeah.
Because people see that number and they think, oh, this person's really out here doing it, right?
Yeah.
They're out here living that lifestyle. They got hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank, and this person's only got this much to spend on the materialistic stuff. So even though this person's heart is in the right place, the people watching it, a majority of the people watching it will see that number, whether it's 50,000 donated to charity, whatever, and they'll think, oh, this person's got the money, this person's got it going on, right?
Yeah, it's weird. So those are all the topics that you're going to be kind of going into on the blog. And it's going to be pretty interesting, and I'm waiting for it. I'm excited because I want to see your total point of view on it, and it's kind of hard to get the full topic and the full grasp of everything when you're like, the conversation does help, but getting a long, like, good blog or a good article on it would definitely make it a lot easier, right? Mm-hmm. And it also will spark conversation.
Yeah, that's the hope with the blog, right? I've bottled up my opinions for so long on so many different topics, and honestly, I'm at a point where I'm like, why am I holding this back? You know, like, I don't really care what people think of me, what people think of what I'm doing, as long as I'm happy with what I'm doing, and you know, I'm happy with my life. Yeah. I could care less.
So you were talking about journalism earlier. So what area of, like, field journalism, all that type of stuff, what area do you want to go into?
So I've had kind of mixed views on what area that I want to go into. I don't think that I would want to work for, like, a newspaper company or something. I've kind of been thinking about something more self-paced, continuing with my blog, I might generate another social media account, but I definitely want to start some conversation on different issues that we've been facing that are prevalent in today's generations in society, whether it's things like what we've been talking about, socialism, social justice, the importance of social media and electronics and things like that in the digital age. I just want to start conversation. Kind of feel with that feeling. I'm honestly not sure, but
yeah. So I'll see if I can help you out. So, like, normally when I was telling you earlier that before each guest come on, I like to do a little bit of research on them, and I think the best way to do that is to look in their Instagram and see what they're about and all that type of stuff. So I think that like, the articles that you're going into and the stuff that you want is all about the technology and how it helps and how it doesn't help, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Because, like I've said, I've had a lot of different experiences in my 3 years of high school where technology has been useful. It can help you plan your day. It can help you research different things, promote yourself, promote your business, whatever. But it can also be a huge distraction. Like, when it comes to studying, I know you've had the ones where you say, oh, I want to get an hour and a half of studying done at like 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Come 8:30, you're like on Netflix
on
Netflix binge watching a series. But yeah, definitely cover like things like technology, how it helps, how it hinders. Even broader than that, I want to talk about society, different issues, equality, social justice, different things like that. I'll talk about different movements, campaigns, whether it's Black Lives Matter or the LGBTQ community, things like that. I just want to really get in depth with things that our society hasn't been shedding as much light on as we needed. What those topics will be, I'm not sure. I'm just kind of
definitely gonna
write
change,
things
right?
as I go. Yeah, it'll definitely be pretty broad, and I'll come up with new ideas as I go. But yeah, definitely put some content on there within the next few days. But
yeah, so. Have you drafted? So you have how many articles do you have up now? One.
So I have just my intro to my page up right now. I have like 3 or 4 different articles drafted up right now. When I get back home, whatever, I'm gonna do some work on those, get some editing done, and I'll have hopefully 2 to 3 up within the next 3 to 4 days. Just covering kind of like what we've been talking about today, social media, digital age, electronics, that type of stuff. The social hierarchy of high school, things like that. So I'll have that kind of up by probably by this Thursday.
That's cool, and I'll definitely link your website in the description, just because I want to see as many people get there as possible. Cause
okay, perfect.
What you're doing is amazing, and it's great to see someone our age continue to find something that they love and something they want to get into, and see in the future and see what happens. And speaking of the future, how far would you want to take the blog? Like, where would you want to go? Would you want to make it a move to a YouTube channel, have interview people, that type of thing? What else?
You know what? I've been thinking about that a lot recently, like with journalism and the career path that I want to get into. It's something that I think could lead to other things, like a YouTube channel, like a following, interviewing different people, kind of traveling around the Hamilton area, Greater Toronto area, and just kind of like interviewing different people and like exposing myself to different cultures, different social groups, ethnic groups, things like that. And you know what? YouTube channel might not be a bad idea. Like 5 months from now, I want to see where this blog takes me, and see if I can do something with it in university and in my studies and career path, and go from there.
Yeah, that's definitely a great area, right? Because especially in journalism, you can do so much, and it's such a free it's freelance in most of the times, but it's such a free area for you to express what you want. And if you're definitely gonna have times where you might be pushing back on maybe the boss or whatever it is, but if you stick to what you really want, it'll always work out, right? Like there's so many different things that it can happen, and I'm extremely passionate about like marketing and growing your own self-image and your brand. So I think if you got onto the similar train and just kind of wanted to create as much stuff and go for it, and maybe even starting a second account isn't the way to do it, because that's what I'm doing right now, and I'm having second thoughts of should I just continue to grow the brand on my account rather than because I have the Carson's Conversation account and then have my also personal account, and I'm getting way more feedback on my main account than I am on my other one. So I might as well just keep it and build it directly around me rather than the show, right? Yeah. And I think that's going to work. And I think that'll definitely work for you too, where you can just build around yourself because you've already got a whole bunch of followers. Mm-hmm. You can talk to other people that'll go, oh, yeah, this is a great idea. Let's do that. Rather than start at zero, start at nothing. Exactly. You'll have to create so much content, and especially finding content from like building it, it's a pain. You have to go out, you have to do that. Like it's a lot of great work. Because it's so much fun. Yeah, it is. But it's work.
It's a grind. Like it's an upward battle. Like starting from zero followers, subscribers, whatever. You have to build up yourself. You have to build up your following, and it's not just that. You have to build it up by doing what you're passionate about. And not a lot of people will always look at that as something that they find interesting, right? So you gotta make sure that you're reaching an audience that's gonna love your content, that's gonna love what you're doing,
definitely,
and what you got planned in the future.
Which is it's so great. And I've been saying that often on pretty much anybody that comes, but it's so true that once you really get what you want, and you know where you want to go and what you want to do, everything feels better. Like you just feel happier. And one of my friends pointed that out. Like as soon as you find something that you're all about, you're gonna be happier, right? And on taking away all the bottled up emotions and stuff like that. As soon as you let it all out,
it's a weight lifted off your shoulders. Like when you've been keeping something in for so long. Not just something you're passionate about, whatever it is in life. When you start like finally talking about something that you've been holding in for so long, it just feels so nice to get it off your chest, right?
It's very true.
And it's something that I've been wanting to do for such a long time, but I've never had the confidence or like the self-esteem to really like just go for it. And like I'm finally making that jump, and I'm so proud of myself. And I'm just happy that I'm finally doing what I'm passionate about. And I'm just hoping that it'll take me somewhere, right?
Yeah, so what propelled you, what gave you that spark to really make that blog?
To be completely honest, it was you seeing you make your podcast.
No way, really?
As cheesy as that is, it's like when you see somebody else doing what they're passionate about, it just really inspires you to do what you're passionate about. And in today's day and age, that's something that a lot of people hold back from what they're doing. I know a lot of people that have really incredible views and perspectives and understanding and knowledge on a broad spectrum of topics, but they're so like shy and introverted, and they're just so afraid of like the backlash that they might get from other people that they keep to themselves, and they don't end up doing something with their
and it really limits everybody else, because it's not, I'm not going to say selfish, but what it does is it really, it keeps away the knowledge of someone else that could really advance thoughts and topics and conversation as a whole. Mm-hmm. As if you keep holding in your great conversation and your intelligence and stuff like that, it's really just going to limit everybody else because they're not learning from you. You're just holding it in. There's no point in having all that intelligence and not sharing it with everybody else. Like, come on, somebody, all you guys, just please do something. Like if you know what you're doing, just do it. That's it.
There's no reason for you to hold back. You're gonna make the world such a better place by sharing your thoughts and opinions.
That's all it
versus holding it in. When I brought up the topic with Carson about talking about the social media stuff and the digital age and being trapped in this bubble via social media and things like that, he said, you know what? Let's do it. Like with no hesitation, because this is something that no one talks about. It's so prevalent and everybody knows it, but no one wants to talk about it. No one wants to talk about the fact that we're glued to our phones and that we're like enslaved by these social media influencers and all that stuff. Like no one wants to talk about that. No one really cares. And we need to it's something that I feel like we need to shed more light on it because it's affecting so many people all across the globe.
Really? Yeah, that is like, it's so true, and we just gotta do something about it. And I think this is gonna be the start of it.
Yeah. This
podcast right here, and I think we're gonna have to bring it to a close because we're just about at that 30-minute. It went by pretty quick, but if you guys can take one thing from our podcast, from this podcast today, is just not only do what you really want to do, but don't have any restrictions. Don't let another person persuade you into doing something else because, hey, there might be backlash, or, hey, there might be this issue that can happen. Do you have anything else to add?
Just don't be afraid. That's something to get into a little bit deeper right now before we close up. I've had a battle with anxiety and crippling anxiety, depression, and just general mental health issues. A lot of people don't know that about me. But it's been something that's affected my life for a long time, and it's kind of restricted me, kept me in this bubble. It's kept me from sharing my thoughts and opinions, being more interactive with people, being more social and active, verbally communicating with people. And I'm finally winning that battle, and it's helping me realize that I can be so much more and I can do so much more with the knowledge and information and opinions that I have, versus keeping them to myself. And if there's anything for you guys to take away right now, it's just don't be afraid to go after what you're passionate about. Don't be afraid to share your thoughts and opinions. Don't be shy. Don't worry about the backlash, because in reality, that's not going to get you where you want to be. That's not going to get you the job of your dreams. That's going to get you stuck working a 9-to-5 with terrible hours, and you're just going to regret having not done what you're passionate about, having not pursued that, and it's just going to be something that you're going to regret for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I couldn't have put that better, guys. Well, everybody, I gotta thank Jesse, because this has been a great conversation. I hope it sparks something big, and I hope it creates something so much bigger than just one 30-minute set, right?
Yeah.
I want everybody to do what they can do, so thank you for coming back to Carson's Conversations. This has been episode 4 with Jesse King, or Kingpin. We don't know. Let's get it. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming, and have a great day. I'll see you on Wednesday.